Not having my mom really affected me a lot, because my mom was like my main stone. Like, I had no one else, and she was on the other side of the world, so I kind of like blamed her for that. This is the type of family I have. They're kind of like narcissists, you know? They're never wrong, and they always blame me. What the streets have taught me, bro, I learned how to love these people. I humbled myself a lot, bro. You don't know what these people are going through. At the end of the day, you can't judge them.
How old are you?
I'm 27. I turned 27 the 14th of January.
You're 27 years old.
Yeah.
You're young, man. What are you doing out here?
A lot of bad choices. I was a victim of a shooting in 2022. Right after that, the drugs got worse, and I was going through like a really rough relationship because the mother of my kids, she has like, I guess like postpartum. So I was taking like a lot of, like boxing in a lot of a lot of emotions. My bad, I haven't slept in like 3 days. But apart from that, I was a cable technician for Comcast for about 2 years. I worked every day, only had Wednesdays off. And then on top of that, I had to go back home and deal with postpartum. Imagine a 25-year-old dealing with all of that, all those responsibilities, and with a drug addiction, because at that time it was not, as bad as now because there was more money. But it got to a point where it all started with, and then from there, and then from back to the point started getting me paranoid to a point that I couldn't do it anymore. So I eventually quit, and I got into downers and started buying. That's when things got really bad. Why? Because first of all, the price and the withdrawals you get. So like, you'll need it more than any other drug. I call that the blue demon. It got to a point where I was selling them, because I had people that will get the scripts. And bro, what I can really tell you is I was supposed to sell them, but I'll take half of them. Like out of 90, I'll take like maybe like 40 of them, and it wasn't enough. It only lasts like what, 4 or 5 days, and on top of that, then I'll go back to the same guy I sold them to and buy them back for a bigger price, right? Just to tell my head that okay, I made money, and now I'm wasting it on the same thing. I was like cheating myself, even though I was doing the wrong thing, because selling is not right. But I was just lying to myself every day of my life.
When did your addiction start?
Really, like around my 20s, like right when I turned 20, because I dealt with homelessness. I lost my father when I was 10 years old. He wasn't around, and apart from that, at 16, my mom got married, moved to Australia, and I stayed with my aunt. But you know how it is. It's not your mother or your father. And plus, she's a little bit older. She's 16, 17 years older than my dad. So at the end of the day, she got fed up with me, because I don't know how to explain it, but
Was it the crowd that you were hanging around that influenced you into the addiction?
not really the crowd, but more like at that time I was only smoking, At 16, I was smoking a lot of weed to the point I started selling it to buy weed.
Yeah.
And not having my mom really affected me a lot, because my mom was like my main stone. Like, I had no one else, and she was on the other side of the world. So I kind of like blamed her for that, because at the end of the day, I didn't want her to take me out of the country, where I grew up and knew people, and had everything going for me. And
How old were you when she left?
16.
And you didn't want to go?
No.
So she gave you the option. I'm moving to Australia. Would you come with me? And you said no.
Yes, because I was playing football. In high school, I was 210 pounds. I was benching 315 by the time I was 17.
Yeah.
I was squatting 450. I had letters to Auburn, Chicago University, Liberty University, UM. I was a kicker because I started off playing soccer,
Mhm.
and then from soccer, I guess I got too big because I started playing football. And eventually, I'm a good kicker, so I was like a linebacker, looking like a kicker linebacker
Yeah, yeah.
type deal. But
So I think if you go back to your mind at 16, I'm a successful football player. My life is gonna go one way, so I don't really want to go to Australia to derail my life. Looking back at it now, do you think you make the right choice?
well, it's more complicated than that, to be honest.
Tell me.
My mom, like, we're really religious. We're 7 Day Adventists, so like we rest like just like the Jews from Friday night to Saturday night. So football is Friday night lights
Mm.
every Friday. I used to have to sneak out of the house to go play. You get me? And then sometimes when I got invited to Auburn camps and like D1 camps, she'll never take me because it was on a Saturday. So like we had to go to church.
Right.
So at the end of the day, she never like really. How can I say? She didn't like really focus on me and my future.
Yeah.
She focused on her. You know, she was going to college. I get her. She got her nursing career. She graduated. That's why we moved to Georgia when I was in 8th grade. And aside from that, I'm not gonna say my mom was selfish, but she thought she was doing the right thing. At the end of the day, she grew up in that religion, so like she's just following what her parents taught her. But I don't think that was like the right choice because that took me off balance. Because all my life, I've done sports.
Yeah.
I've hung out with people that do sports, so like that really like kind of like hit me.
Mhm.
And yeah, man. Then from that, I moved back down to Miami when she got married and went to Australia. Miami was a different deal, because my grandfather was sick. He was old. He was like 87. He had like 2 strokes. My uncle in the house, he has a broken back, 2 discs herniated, and my aunt, obviously a woman, she can't, like carry all the weight.
Yeah.
So I was the caregiver, So like it got to the point where I couldn't play football because no one wanted to pick me up from school, at 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And on top of that, she wanted me home, changing my grandfather, which was not bad, but like, why, like, why don't you let me like advance and what I want to do?
Sure.
But she's also 7 Day Adventist, so like technically speaking, she didn't want me like playing,
Hmm.
but she'll make an excuse that I had to take care of my grandfather. So I I kind of feel like a mental abuse, even though he was my grandfather. I have like a lot of things against like my aunt and like my mom because they
They
let.
put too much weight on you when you were so
Yeah,
young.
yeah. Like my bad that I'm just taking it all in right now because I I haven't thought of that in a long time. But yeah, aside from that,
Because I played sports too, and I think that one of the reasons why some kids go towards drugs is because they don't have that outlet, And you played football when you were 16, you were successful. I'm assuming at that point you weren't doing any of these things,
no,
right? It
no,
was
no, no.
once you no longer have that, which became your life.
Yeah,
Where do I go? Where do I turn to? And it's very easy to turn to
drugs.
what you turn to.
So like, took care of my grandfather. Then I started smoking weed. Why? I wasn't hanging out with football players anymore.
Yeah.
I was going home, and I'll hang out with with the kids in my classroom. Not with the football players,
Yeah.
because it's like a fraternity.
Mm.
When you play football, your friends, you do everything with your team. When you're in school and you don't do any sports, you turn to like more to like, especially in Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
Where'd you go to school?
Braddock, Kendall.
Kendall. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I went to Pace.
Went to Pace.
Yeah.
Oh
I
shit.
played baseball in Pace.
You played. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, man. I tried playing football in Braddock, but it got complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I had to be home literally like at 6:30 to put him to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and practice didn't end till like 6, and no one wanted to pick me up, and they did it on purpose. Why? They wanted me to quit, and they wanted me to go take care of my grandfather. But at the end of the day, where does all of that pay off? Because now they blame me, you know, for being here, but they don't blame themselves for putting me in a position where I could have been successful. They said that they gave me everything, but at the end of the day, I didn't see it like that, because giving you everything is not a roof over your head and just food. I understand. I'm appreciated because you're my aunt. You're not supposed to do that, but um, at the end of the day, they were only thinking about themselves. You know why? Because they could have easily paid a HHA or nurse to just come to the house and change them. Because my grandfather had social security. He had everything. So like
Yeah.
they could have done that.
Do you
But
blame them for that?
I don't want to say I blame them, because maybe they'll watch this interview, but they're responsible
I've had a
for
lot of
doing that.
conversations with people where their family is not supportive of what they do because they don't see the real picture. Like, I'll give you an example, just a personal
Yeah.
one. Like, if I were to tell my parents I want to go I don't know, the entrepreneur route, they're from the mentality of go to school, get a job. That's your way to success. Do you think that maybe your family? It's not that they did it with bad intentions, but maybe they didn't think that football was the way out. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Maybe not really. It was more like they were thinking of themselves. Like,
Yeah,
all right, like that's my father, but this kid is 210 pounds, strong, young. We
we
can
can
move
use
him
him.
around. Yeah, we can use him.
Mm,
Since I was little,
yeah,
bro, I'll be in my room, and they'll be in the living room, and the kitchen was in the back. They'll call me, Anthony, come get the plate. They'll be eating in the couch, and I had to go from my room to the living room to get their plates and put it in the kitchen.
sure.
This is the type of family I have. They're kind of like narcissists.
Mm,
They're never wrong, and they're always blaming. At the end of the day, that's just the truth. I didn't want to say that, but that's the truth. And it's fucked up. Like, you know, but at the
have
end,
you ever thought of turning to them at this point?
they actually turned away from me.
Did they really?
Yeah, like I say, they don't blame themselves. They blame me. Like they didn't see me like. I know I used to hide a lot of my feelings, but them being the adult, they had to, investigate more. Like when they found me smoking, like they tested me because I was hanging out with one of my aunt's friend's son, and we got pulled over. But his brother, he's a cop. So when we got pulled over, the car smelled like, and we were in the jurisdiction where he works. So when we got home, he found out, and then the next day I got drug tested. When it came out positive, I got kicked out just for that, just for smoking. You know, that's
Even though you had been helping them all along.
yeah, and everything. My uncle has a broken back. I was the man of the house since I was
Wow.
since I was a kid. At that time, I was just in high school partying. Oh, that's another thing. I stopped playing football, but I started partying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started partying a lot, that's when I started smoking, to the point I became you know, and it was not a cheap habit. At the end of the day, it's $10 for a dime, $20 for a dime. I mean, for a dub, and you're not working. You
Right.
know, you're just all your life you've done sports, and out of nowhere you have nothing.
Sure.
You know, and I did good in school. I graduated with a 3.8, but at the end of the day, academics was not like I had like a vision, and they destroyed it, and that took me to that and my mom leaving and getting married, practically abandoned me. That's what I think, because she chose a man over her son. At the end of the day, no matter how you put it, it is what it is. Um,
Are you religious?
yes.
You're still religious?
Not practicing, but like not going to church or like resting on the like today's Sabbath.
Yeah.
But I do believe in God. I believe that we need to pray and every day, even though I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a strong believer in God.
That's good. So whatever happened with your family, because they seem to be very religious from what you're telling me,
Yeah.
didn't turn you away from religion. That's good.
No, it didn't turn me away from religion. At the end of the day, I know the truth. I know what's right and I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's some things like my religion is wrong in that I think is wrong, because if you're religious and you believe in God, why would you do that to me? You know, like sometimes I think people in church, they go there because they have a lot of dirty clothes in the basket,
Mm.
and they think they can just pray it off. There's like two types of people that go to church: the ones who have nothing. They're I don't want to sound like stereotypical, but from what I seen, there's people that go with money to church to manipulate the people that don't have anything. They use them to work in their houses, or they hire them in their companies, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, they do it so they can pay them less. Because they're a brother in Christ or whatever, or they feel like they're doing like the work of God. But at the end of the day, they're getting their pockets fatter and not really like doing anything for God. But they think they are because they give their tithe every week to the church, and as long as they give their tithe, everything is fine. Um, and I'm totally against that, because you're supposed to come to God in a sincere way, not because you need money. That's so like bad. Like that's not religious.
Yeah. I
At the end of
mean,
the day, like some churches, they preach, or like when they need money, they preach about money. For example, um, they go to a Bible verse where it says, "Give to God what is God's, give to Caesar what is Caesar's." They do
yeah.
that on purpose. Why? Because they need funding,
Yeah.
and the pastor needs to get paid and stuff like that. So like they know what they're doing. At the end of the day, they're not using God's word to like be sincere, but more to like manipulate the masses.
And things like that turn people away from religion
And
and church.
yeah, and when you grow up in that and you're smart enough to see it,
Yeah.
it turns you away. To
Yeah.
me, the smartest people, that's why the smartest people are atheists. Not atheists, but they're they're not religious. Why? Because they know what's going on. Other people, oh no, God got us. Like let's just do what the pastor said, is saying and stuff. But you can't be ignorant like that at the end of the day, because um, the pastors, like for example, Jesus rompe las cadenas. That guy has a private jet.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has freaking Brinks trucks pulling up to his sermon, taking all the people's money, and people still there. Like, yeah, yeah, thank you, Lord, thank you, Pastor. Like, no, bro, that's not religion. At the end of the day, you're supposed to come to God with nothing, you know, and just be humble. And people in church, not in my church, have a hard time with that, because they dress up in a suit, they come in Versace dresses and freaking Dolce Gabbana, and then the ones that they hire in church come in their Goodwill stuff and stuff like that. It's like a big like like it's like high class, middle class, low class. The high class takes advantage of the low class, stuff like that. But it's stupid because none of them have a problem. At the end of the day, the low class, oh yeah, we're poor, whatever. Let's just do what they say, because it's God's work. And then the high class yeah. Like God loves you. Like, he put you here so I can help you. Yeah, right. You're helping yourself. You know,
Yeah,
you're not doing
you're in
it.
a position of power, and it's
Yeah,
very
you're in.
easy
There you
for you to
go.
manipulate those
It's
who are
easy
in
for
need.
you to manipulate those who are in need. At the end of the day, I think church is like Facebook. You know, back in the day, people had no, social like Facebook, Instagram. So, what would they do? They'll go to church.
Hmm.
Everybody in the town would just go to church and socialize. So I think church is more like social, like a social work than more than social and more like money wise than religion. They just use religion to I don't know, bro.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
So then,
it's
if
a
we
lot to
fast
it.
forward to around this time, you say you've been out here for a couple months.
Yeah, so I lost my job in September. Like I said, I kept going downwards. Um, what the streets have taught me, bro, these last 3 months, I got in jumped by three guys on New Year's night over there on 12th Street, over me getting in the way of the sidewalk. Um, I learned how to love these people because I was the type of person that I would just be like, pass by, like, damn, like, I humbled myself a lot, bro. You don't know what these people are going through. At the end of the day, you can't judge them. Even though I never did, but like, I always thought like they're crackheads. But look at me now. I'm a crackhead. I'm over here smoking the same they smoke. And guess what? Now I know, like, now I know how it is to be in the streets and be on and just not wanting to strive. I was wearing the same clothes, bro. I was so depressed, and like, out of it, I was wearing the same clothes for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight. I didn't go fuck. I came with a nice haircut, like my hair now. 3 months later, hey buddy. In the beginning, they thought I was trapping the cops here. I look, good. I don't stress myself out here. You get me? I let God take care of everything. I don't steal. I don't rob nobody for nothing. Every day God provides for me.
Well, man, you're young, and it's good that you still have that mentality that you're going to keep going forward,
Of course.
because you still got a lot of time, man. You got a lot of time to switch things
Yeah.
around. It's
These,
just a
these
matter of
guys are
mentality.
40 something. He's 40 something. He could be my dad. My plan after rehab is to go right back to that because my cousin's gonna pay for my license. She told me go to rehab and we're gonna help you. My mom and my stepdad finally realized it. They're gonna help me too. So I'm gonna have a lot of support right after rehab, and that's my goal, bro. Because after that, voy a acabar con el mundo, bro. You know.
Thank you for sharing your story, man. I appreciate you.
No